What's going on, guys? This is BunnyMuffins. Riot just teased two things for Season 10. Coming in patch 10.1, we have two new champions along with a ton of item changes. I just want to briefly go over them just so you guys know and can prepare for the future. So the first thing we have is the new classes, which is Lunar. Every 7 seconds, your team gains 20% critical strike, 20% critical strike damage, and 20% spell power, stacking up to 4 times. And the champions are Leona and Karma. So Leona is a 1 cost and is Lunar and Warden. And Leona reduces all damage by 35, 70, and 105 for 5 seconds. So this is a very good ability for a 1 cost just because they'll be super tanky, and she also has Warden. And based on what Lunar does, you want the battles to be drawn out as long as possible in order to get up to 4 stacks, because most fights don't end up lasting 28 seconds. Next, we have Karma, who's a Mystic and a Lunar at 3 costs, and at the start of combat, Karma tethers to her closest ally and shields them for 5 seconds, absorbing the next 200 to 500 damage. While the shield holds, the ally receives a 50 to 100% bonus attack speed. So this is huge. Karma's that's a very interesting support ability. I'm wondering if she gains mana after this 5 seconds is done and maybe puts it on someone else. But I like how they do Mystic and Warden because, again, that complements the whole Lunar synergy because your whole team's going to live a lot longer and it's a lot easier to get those pieces. But Karma is very interesting. This is one of the first times that they have a champion with this type of ability. And, again, I love all these types of support champions because it brings a much more interesting mechanic into the game. Next, we're going to be going over some of their item changes. There are a lot of item changes here, but items that are gone: repeating crossbow. Last Whisper is going to replace that. So whenever the wearer inflicts a critical hit, the target's armor is reduced by 90% for 3 seconds. So now they added like a real anti-tank item. Before it was Giant Slayer, but I like the addition of Last Whisper because it directly counters armor, which is what Wardens do in set 2. Whereas Wardens didn't really exist in the last set, and no one could actually stack that much armor apart from Guardian. Next, we have Bramble Vest replacing Thornmail. So no more Braum stacking, I'm assuming, but let's just read what Bramble Vest says. Negates bonus damage from critical strikes on the wearer. When the wearer is hit by a basic attack, a hail of thorns hits nearby enemies for a bunch of magic damage. I'm not sure why they have different tiers because items don't really have... Oh, okay, so it increases with the holder's level. That's interesting. So this is like an anti-crit item. I'm guessing they're using this to replace Phantom Dancer because they completely gutted it last patch. So it is kind of interesting, but I do miss the Thornmail concept because I thought it was pretty cool with stacking a lot of damage negation. I guess the reasoning for it was only good on Braum, but maybe it could have been used on others. Who knows? Titan's Resolve replaces Phantom... Okay, yeah, so they are replacing Phantom Dancer. When a wearer is hit by a source of damage, they gain a 2.5% stacking damage increase. I like this a lot more because this item is made from attack speed and armor, and Phantom Dancer was pretty much purely a defensive item, whereas this is both defensive and offensive, so it kind of matches that theme a little more. But let's see what it does. Yeah, so this will be really... Oh, wow. This would be really good with Lunar, because all the fights are going to last so long, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage towards the end of the game. That's pretty cool. I could see this being pretty good on Singe since he's running around the entire map. You don't really want it on someone in the backline because they won't be hit by any damage, but you definitely want it on some sort of tanky, bruiser-esque type of person. Maybe like Olaf's really good with this. Iceborn Gauntlet. So they're just changing this item. So I guess Cloud won't be as overpowered as I thought it would be with the Cloud buffs. I guess we can only abuse that this patch. But the new Iceborn Gauntlet is after casting a spell, the wearer's next basic attack freezes the target for 1.5 seconds. Okay. Doesn't seem that great, but it is interesting. They might need to increase the slow time, or maybe slow in a zone, or freeze people in a zone, because it takes so long to cast a spell, and just having 1.5 seconds stun isn't really that great. Unless you have it on someone who's like a Lucian from last patch. I can't really think of anyone with that type of ability this patch, though. So I'll have to look through all the champions again and see who this would best fit on. Next we have Quicksilver, and the new Quicksilver, they're just immune to crowd control effects. This is a pretty good change because the old one, they're right, it was kind of bad, so I don't know if this will be overpowered because there isn't too much of a super duper hyper carry this patch compared to last patch, but we'll see. We'll see. Olaf already is immune to crowd control effects, so maybe on Master Yi this is amazing, or maybe on Kha'Zix. Actually, Nocturne would be really good on this since he'll just keep auto-attacking the entire game. Frozen Heart now reduces the attack speed of nearby enemies by 40%. Stacking increases the radius of this effect. Okay, let's see what the rationale behind this was. Attack speed drives so many gameplay dynamics and teamfight tactics that allowing it to get debuffed to very low levels has many knock-on effects. Slower rounds, too broad usefulness against enemy auto-attackers and casters, so a radius increase will help Frozen Heart stacking remain relevant without turning TFT into nerf mode. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Though 40% seems like a lot just for having one Frozen Heart, I'll be honest there. I guess increasing the radius, it could still get out of hand fast, so I guess Frozen Heart's the new Iceborn Gauntlet. But just having one of these is super, super strong. I don't even know if you want to stack this because 40% reduction just with one item is incredibly powerful. So all of these items now scale based on the wearer's level. Okay, so instead of having these Locket, Statikk, Shiv, and Luden's Echo, instead of having these be all super duper early game items, they're now going to scale on level. I like that change, but I wonder if they're going to be super weak early or something like that. Okay, and then Ionic Spark, this was the other super strong early game item. Let's see what they did with this one. So when enemies within 3 hexes that cast a spell are zapped, taking magic damage equal to 200% of their mana. So this sounds pretty terrible because Ionic Spark does, I think, like 90 damage right now. But that's to everyone. So within 3 hexes, that's not that long of a range. That's like one of the medium range auto attackers. Especially with the bigger map, I don't see this being that great because 200% of someone's mana is 200 damage, and they have to be very, very close to you. So you want to put this on a tank, but the thing is your tank's going to die first. So if you put it on your range unit, he's not going to get many item procs. So I think this item will be pretty terrible unless they change this. Maybe if they make it 300% or 400% mana, it will be a lot better. But yeah, that's it for the Season 10 preview. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know what items you guys are most excited for and what changes you're most excited for. Maybe think about what comps are great with the Lunar synergy. I'm thinking, obviously, any Warden and Mystic comp, depending on your lobby, will be the best one. And then you can maybe combine it with maybe Lights or maybe a hyper carry such as Master Yi. Maybe even Sivir can work through this as well. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.